Conversation, 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 conversation. Life's journey. Hey, conversation, 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 conversation. Let's talk about it.
Hello, everyone. It's Conversations with Moji. And I tell you, I'm truly, truly excited. Exactly 2 years ago, this program started. And today I'm honored to have another classmate. She was my classmate in command and a dear, she's an inspiration. I've been looking forward to these conversations with her. But we're going to be starting something different. It's called Against All Odds. Against All Odds. There are many things, there are many reasons people can give for not getting to where they desire to get to or not doing the things they ought to do. But today I have a dear friend. I will try to read out this interesting piece about her. We call her Uduak. She's a doctor. She's a medical doctor, master's in clinical pathology, a fellow in chemical pathology, and a consultant chemical pathologist. Can see I have a big one here today. She's married, and she has 3 wonderful children. The eldest is 23 and is also in the medical field. I'm sure the other 2 are also. And she's married to a doctor. She's a woman of God and of great service to humanity. But I would like for her to tell us a little bit about herself. Uduak, welcome. I like to call her Dr. Uduak because it makes me, this woman has so many things we can talk about. And she had just this of recent, like a few days back, she added more feathers to her cap, as they say. So Dr. Uduak, welcome to Conversations with Moji, and particularly Against All Odds. Thank you for being, my first guest on this particular topic. I would like for you to please share a little bit about yourself and particularly on your background, the schools, and how you arrived at where you are.
All right. I'm Uduak Akpan Ikpegbu. I am a medical doctor. I am a consultant chemical pathologist in General Hospital, Lagos Island. I started my nursery school in Jenny Jones Nursery and Primary School in Apapa. And from there, I went to Umbrella Day and Nursery School, was a private day and nursery school. From there, I went to Command Children's School, Ikeja, Cantonment. From there to Command Secondary School, Ipaja, Lagos. From there to University of Calabar, where I studied medicine and surgery as my first degree. And then after that, I got married during my NYSC, National Youth Service Corps program in Nigeria. And I started a family immediately. And it took me about 10 years after I got married to go back to school. And I went back to do my residency in chemical pathology in the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Ikeja. I also did my master's in clinical pathology in Lagos University Teaching Hospital, but it was actually under the University of Lagos. But actually, the course was taken in the College of Medicine University Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idi Araba. After that, I completed my residency program and got employment with the Lagos State government. And during the COVID era, I was able to undergo 3 online courses with the University of Washington. I got my last certificate in April this year. I'm still doing some other private consultations. I belong to some NGOs with people living with disabilities, Ascend, and I am a woman of God. I attend the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I hold several callings in the church. And I've worked with children, I've worked with teenagers, I've worked with women, and presently I'm working as the state first counselor of the State Relief Society presidency. The Relief Society is an organization of women in the church. So I'm the first counselor of the state presidency. And I also have another calling on family support services, where we deal with people with mental health issues, So in a nutshell, I think I've tried to summarize the activities I'm involved in.
Wow. Wow. Dr. Uduak. Okay, I would just like to know, as a pathologist, just for the sake of a child or someone watching and is like, what exactly does she do? What does your field entail?
Pathology is a branch of medicine that encompasses 4 subunits or subspecialties. You have histopathology. Those are the people that that look for cancers under the slides and do autopsies in the layman's term. That's histopathologist. Then you have the hematologist. Then you have the clinical microbiologist, and you now have the chemical pathologist.
Okay.
So these 4 arms of pathologists are all under the umbrella of pathologists. I am a subspecialty, which is chemical pathology. So
you deal with the chemical part of the human, or chemical as in
your chemistry, like a body chemistry. You have your chemical compositions of the body, where you have your do routine tests, like you want to do your lipid profile, you want to do your liver function test, you want to do your electrolyte urea and creatinine, electrophoresis, and all the chemical compositions and immunological compositions that would show you that there's pathology going on in the human body, and then you'll be able to tell at what stage you can intervene, what's the prognosis, and you'll be able to advise the physician managing the patient on whatever further investigations that can be done, and whatever advice you would like them to look into. We are the physicians of the physician. We are the physician's physician. We guide the physicians on where to look, when they come to do investigations. You understand? Then we also run clinics, like the hematologists have their own clinics. They have sickle cell clinics, they have HIV clinics, they have some other clinics, blood banking and all that. All subunits under that. And for the chemical pathologists, we run the metabolic clinic, we run the well woman's clinic, and the metabolic clinic, like the name implies, metabolism. So
those of us that are
those
people
that
are
have
big.
metabolic, will have metabolic syndrome.
Okay.
For example, they are obese, they are hypertensive, they have impaired glucose tolerance, or they are being treated for diabetes, and they may have some abnormal lipid profile. You know, those are people that we looked at and we tend to manage, you know, and other people who are obese and may not have hypertension and all that, but they need to cut down on their weight so that they don't suffer from other comorbidities of obesity. Apart from that, we also look at metabolic diseases in and drop at what you do. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
That's you know, it's interesting that you know, most of us just know, okay, she's a doctor. We don't know that different people have different roles that they play, you know, and so that's enlightening. Thank you for that. Yeah, Dr. Uduak, from the bit I know and I can remember, I'm not surprised that you got to this. I mean, you became a medical doctor. You were one of the very brilliant ones. You are one of the very, very, very academically sound ones we had in our set. So I'm not surprised that you became a medical doctor. But you know, what's hearing all what you're saying, I'm thinking, because I remember you and I'm like, oh, she used to have a limp. How are you able to, I mean, that should have been a challenge and a good excuse for you not to have gone as far as you've gone in life. Can you tell us a little bit what is your motive, or how did you arrive here?
It's a very long journey. After my second birthday, I suffered from poliomyelitis, and I was impaired movement in my left lower limb, my left leg, such that I had some polio deformity of my left leg, and I had to undergo a series of corrective surgeries over the years, you know, so to enable me walk better. And at some point in time, I work with crutches. I work with plaster of Paris on my leg. And going to school was an ordeal, especially in my early years, you know, where children can be really very nasty. And they will sing to me, oh, you crooked leg, you know. It was very good in primary school. And I'll tell my dad, I'm not going to school today. And my dad will say, please, sweetheart, you have to go to school. I said, no. So why? I said, because they laugh at me. They say I have a limp and my leg is crooked. And it's not my fault that I have a limp. And it's not my fault that my leg is crooked. And they just laugh at me. I'm not going back to that school. And my dad will say, oh, sweetheart, you know you are more than that. You know, even though your leg is crooked, doesn't mean you are crooked. You are a sweet and loving child. Okay, what do you want daddy to do for you? I'll take you anywhere you want me to take you to. Okay, I've got a good idea. I'll take you to Kingsway and Leventon stores, and you buy whatsoever you want. I promise you, I'll do that. But on one condition, that you go back to school. So, okay, fine. Take me to Kingsway. And my dad would take me to Kingsway, and I would choose a very beautiful pair of shoes that matches with the bag and an umbrella. You know, I specifically remember one egg yolk colored shoe bag and umbrella I had. And I usually look so beautiful and special in my outfit. And I will go back to school. Then they will laugh at me again. And after some few days, I said, Dad, I'm not going back to school again. He said, why? He said, they're still laughing at me. He said, no, I will speak to your teacher. They should stop making jest of it. It's not your fault. And the story went on and on. But, you know, at some point, my grandmother visited my parents' house. And she told me that, little girl, I hear that you don't like to go to school. I said, I love school, but they
Make fun of you.
keep making fun of me and laughing at me. That thing, you can get really? She said, yes. You can study so well and be the best. When you are the best, they will come to you for knowledge. Then you can get back at them and make fun of them that they are not intelligent. I said, really, Grandma? She said, really? Then I became possessed with the spirit of excellence. And I started studying my book like I had something to settle with somebody. So that was where the journey began, the journey of excellent achievements.
Wow. Excellent achievements. And indeed, I mean, that's you know, it's somebody else could have said, oh, they are making fun of you, we'll fight them, we'll, you know, but they just encourage you. And that is the best. I mean, everybody loves success.
Yes.
Success attracts everyone.
Yes.
And that's the truth, you know, even children. So yes, tell me, you know, I mean, how after NYSC, I mean, by then you're already a doctor, right? But you had not done your residency. So why didn't you stop there? Why were you able to cope with family and going back to school and all of that? How are you able to do all of those things?
Thank you. You see, basically, I'd always been a career-minded person. I believe in developing my mind and my talents. And family was not really what was on my mind initially when I was in medical school. All I wanted to do was become a consultant and travel around the world, maybe to be something UNICEF, United Nations, or something of that nature, and travel around the world, influencing life for good, you know. However, I met my husband in medical school. He was my best friend, and it was an unusual best friend in that we shared so many jokes together and we understood each other so perfectly well that we could actually be talking about you in your presence and you would not know we are talking about.
You have your codes.
And that coded understanding, you know. So we became so close that after some years, I was beginning to wonder, how can a guy be a girl's best friend and a girl be a guy's best friend? It doesn't. You know, so I started friendship that so you're my best friend. Say you're my best friend. So after that, what next? So I was like, nothing next now, but you know, maybe if you teacher ask you, get married. No, I don't want to get married, though. I want to go to school. I want to become a professor. I want to do this. I want to do that, you know. And he would laugh and he would jest and all that. However, by the time we got to our 5th year, you know, I was like, come on, it's not a bad idea if we get married, though, you know, because you're just the absolute best friend I've ever had, you know. And he said, you two, you are the best friend I've ever had. So we got married during our NYC. And I told him something when we got married, that I would always want to be a specialist. And you must give me that opportunity to go back to school. and become a specialist. And he promised me, say, you will be a specialist. So we started a family. It was not easy. At some point, I didn't have any support, perfect support system. You know, I had to do the house chores, take the children to school and all that. And it wasn't funny. I had to take a 9-to-5 job so that I could cope with the family. At a point when I was pregnant for my last child, I even had to stop work, you know, and stay back home and take care of the children. And it wasn't easy juggling the two, but I was able to raise my boy, my first child, from the age of 5, to be responsible for his younger siblings and get him to do some little house chores that he could do for his age and gradually build up his responsibility such that by the time he was 10, he was making the best stew sauce in the house. So I knew that it was time to move on, to go back to school, because he had been trained to be able to care for his younger ones, at least to a point before I come back from work. So I went back to residency when my boy was 10 years old, and my boy could look after the other one. All I had to do was get a housekeeper just to supervise them until I get back to work. And my mom is alive. She was still alive then. So on weekends, we'll go to my mom's house. I'll drop the children there and get some time off to read and study and all that, you know. And at some point, I couldn't pay for some extra lessons for the children. I had to teach them myself, you know, and teach them how to recall, how to remember, how to code information in their minds, you know, such that they were doing excellently well in school. The three of them now are in medical school for their mentor.
That's fantastic. I mean, you are a wonderful woman. I mean, somebody listening to you be like, oh, maybe she just had it all good. Maybe that's why, you know. But I know some time ago you shared with me, you know, how you had to do your master's and you still had to defend. You were doing your master's and your what? That was something you were doing. You're doing two together. Your residency and your master's together. And at that time, I mean, you actually had another accident or something. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, when I was in my senior residency year, I fell from my car. I was trying to come out of my car and I just tripped and fell and landed on my left knee, which is my the weak leg, and tore some ligaments in the knee. And I had to, you know, there were no facilities to repair the torn ligaments at that time in the hospitals we had in Lagos. So my leg had to be put in a cast, you know, to rest so that it could heal by fibrosis, you know, and I was at home for 2 months and my leg was in a cast. I was not happy with the situation because I couldn't go about doing all that I wanted to do, you know, but I had God on my side and I believe that all things work together for good to they that love God. And I felt that probably it was a time that I had to learn something, you know, I had to learn to be patient with myself. I had to learn to slow down. I had to learn to communicate better with my children. And that was what I spent most of my time doing. And when the cast was removed, I had to learn to walk again because most of my muscles on that leg were kind of atrophied. They were shrunken somehow. So I had to walk with 2 crutches and get back to work. You know, when I started my senior year again, I resumed work. I had a posting in the Lagos University Teaching Hospital. That was when the opportunity came to do a master's. I had to work with 2 crutches. Sometimes to go and register, I had to climb 3-story buildings with the lifts malfunctioning. I would fall sometimes. I would tell myself, 7 times I fall, 7 times I rise. I would never stay down. I pick up my stick, I walk, I move, I walk, I move. A friend of mine once told me, who saw me fall once and stood up when I stood up. He said, "Why are you doing this to yourself? You are a medical doctor, your husband is doing well, you are doing well for yourself. Why do you have to take this master's program? Why do you have to stress yourself so much to the limit?" And I just told him, "You don't understand. It's something from within. It's a drive from within to succeed against all odds. To succeed. I need to do this. It's for myself, you know." I said, "I cannot understand you. I can't understand you." I said, "You can't understand me. Only I know what is pushing me to do this because I need to prove to myself I can do this." And I did it. I did it.
Wow. Fantastic. Yeah, I know you told us, Doctor, I know you told us about how the children bullied you. And in fact, the other time, we're talking, you actually sang the song, it's a bendy leg, whatever, and all of those things, and how you were able to overcome that by doing well in school. Have you ever have you ever felt like, oh, this leg is, have you ever felt really down because of the situation? Have you ever felt bullied or, treated disrespectfully because of it?
Yes, I have quite a number of times. Sometimes when I was a child, I would want to run around with my siblings, who were normal children who didn't have any disability or physical challenge. And in an attempt to run, I would fall, and I would just feel, oh no, this leg again, I can't even run. Sometimes, it gets to you that, oh no, why can't I just run? But somehow I adjusted to it that there are certain things I can't do. And it's not a bad thing that I can't do them. There are other things I can do that other people who have good legs cannot do. Like I can memorize things, I can invent things, duly, So I did several times, even recently, 21st of December 2020, precisely, a senior colleague of mine, an older colleague, saw me and told me, "We don't need invalids here." I said, "What do you mean?" "What?" He said, "We don't need invalids here." I said, "I am not an invalid." He said, "Why are you walking with a walking stick?" I said, "Because I suffered from polio after my 2nd birthday, sir." I said, "Oh, sorry. I didn't know that. I thought you were coming from physiotherapy." And I looked straight into his eyes. I was so disappointed in him because I felt a senior colleague should have known better the kind of hurdles I must have crossed to get to where I am today. You know? So I reported him to my boss. And I was going to take the case up. I was going to talk to the people living with disabilities and lawyers, you know, and they're going to send him a letter. So my boss called him and said, this young lady you talked down on, and she's really upset, and she said you called her an invalid. And he said, oh, I was only joking. He said she's not taking it as a joke. In fact, she's very upset. And she's going to tell it to whosoever wants to listen. So he had to come to my office the next day, pleaded with me, was virtually almost going down on his knees, begged and say he was sorry that he couldn't sleep that night. I said I was very bitter. I was really very upset that a senior colleague of mine could do this to me, you know, and he said that he was sorry. I said, it's all right. It's all right. Apologies accepted. And when I got back home, I told my husband about it. And he said, sweetheart, get used to it. Not everybody will be happy for you for what you achieve. Some people want to put it in your face that you are just crippled. Whatever word they can use, they will use it. So get used to it. More are coming, you know? And I was like, why can't they just feel compassion? He said, not everybody has compassion for you. Is he your father? Is he your uncle? Not everybody will have compassion on you. Some people will be out there to actually pull you down and tear you apart. But you must make up your mind that no matter what the obstacle is, you will rise above every obstacle.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that situation because it's really very touching to me. And but I'm glad you got the right counsel. You know, I mean, it's just we are not all the same. You know,
Yeah,
all the same. But yeah, but you've not allowed that to stop you. Tell us a little bit about. I know yesterday I talked to you. Yeah. And there was just some excitement. There's some new things on the ground. I mean, some more achievements. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
oh dear, I don't know which one you want me to talk about. There are all so many. I don't know which one you want me to talk about. Please be specific.
Okay. So now we have one of your works being published on an international magazine. Is it magazine, right? Okay.